Hello everyone, I'm Vishali. I'm bringing another video to you and I'm going to open up myself to channeling in this video. Channeling, if you're not aware, I simply connect to myself. I try to bring the deeper aspect, the universal aspect, the universal consciousness that we're all connected to through myself. And it's called sometimes the higher self. I call it the divine self. And that's what channeling is for me. There are other beings that we can connect to. That is not my intention. My spirit guides, I'm sure, do help me along, but my intention is to connect to my higher self, my divine self, and let that guide the process. So, before I begin, I'll kind of introduce to you how I began to channel, how this happened for me. I initially started to meditate a little bit when I was about 12 years old, and I was introduced to the concept of, breathing. I had a name or a mantra that I was doing with breath, and I did that for a short duration of time, but I felt a lot of love for the source and for God, just inherently. And I would have these conversations, at nighttime, these conversations with God, and I would talk to God as if God was my friend, as if I knew God. So I remember having some non-physical experiences which kind of scared me at the time because I was a very young child and I didn't really understand what was happening. Then, when I was in university, in order to increase my ability to concentrate and learn and just relieve stress while I was studying, I started to meditate on my bus ride to and from my university. My rides occupied about 3 hours, and so it gave me a chance to meditate. When that was happening, I began to feel like a tingling sensation in my forehead region, which was very, very blissful. And so I again didn't know what was happening. I had some other experiences that I didn't quite understand, so I stopped meditating again. And so it wasn't until 2012 when I started to really feel this yearning to meditate after certain experiences. I was in a job that paid really well. It was in line with the schooling that I had completed, but I felt like it wasn't really my path, and I just felt like it wasn't my calling. So I immediately, like, something happened, events happened in life that took me down the path where I left that job and I got the opportunity to sit and just meditate, and I felt a desire and a pull to do so. So when I began to meditate very, very quickly, I, at that time in 2012, began to have non-physical experiences, very intense non-physical experiences. I, for instance, had out-of-body experiences, I think within 2 or 3 weeks of my meditation practice. And I was meditating at the time, maybe 2 hours in the daytime and 2 hours at night, or even 3 hours in the daytime and 3 hours at night. And it didn't feel like much because the time went by so quickly. I enjoyed it so thoroughly. Meditations were very blissful. And I was simply doing it to explore, to find out more and connect more to myself and know more. And I had no other desire other than this. So after that, my spiritual journey really took off and it began to intensify. I recently, in the last few months, again, there's been times in my life where I've stepped back a little bit in the journey and, uh, you know, been more active on the path. So in the last 4 months, I've been pretty active, kind of doing more practices and staying on top of it and making the time. I felt the great desire to do so again and had time in my life and carved out time in my life, I should say, to do so. So when I did that, I began to hear a soft voice within myself. This voice came from the depth of me within my heart region at first, and now I hear it kind of in the field around me, in the space around me, and maybe above me even. It's becoming more integrated. It seems like it is me. Yeah, so which it is, but it feels more and more like that. And I I basically just bring through the messages that I hear, and it's not, I feel the energy as well. Some messages have a lot more energy attached to them than others. And so the messages and the energy, I hope is also conveyed through the videos. And if you guys have any other questions about my journey, or how I began channeling, or if you're having experiences that you'd like to share, please feel free to message me here, comment below. I would love to hear from you. Um, and I just want to say that if you feel a push to meditate, if you feel a push to, explore more of what this reality is, more of what you are, and explore yourself, like, I think that's what spirituality is the journey of self-discovery. So if you're feeling the urge to, find that out, to learn more about yourself, and um, you feel connected to the source, then I urge you to explore it, because for me, there's really no other joy that I've found that's deeper than this. And so making these videos fulfills me in a way that nothing else does. So I thoroughly enjoy them. I thoroughly enjoy channeling. I learn from every single channeling that comes through. So it's as much for me, the information and knowledge and guidance, as it is for you. And in fact, probably more for me. So I'm going to try to connect today. I hope that answers some of your questions. If you were just, wondering, like, who is this person? What, how do they start channeling? So yeah, I'm just a person like you, and my journey started very simply, and I think anyone can do this. And I think if your heart is pure, your desire is, pure, that it can come through you very, very easily. So just discern, what is it that you want and why do you want it? And then begin on the path. And yeah, so if you have any questions, contact me. I'll begin now, and I'll simply just surrender into myself and let the divine self guide the process. I'm not sure what's going to come through, if anything is going to come through. Um, so we'll do that now. And I close my eyes in order to go deeper within. So if you're wanting to meditate with me, I suggest closing your eyes as well to make the experience and more deeper, and to experience non-physical in a deeper way. We'll now begin. Welcome to the Conversations with Divine Self. When we speak to you today, we would like for you to feel yourself as not simply this body, but as everything that you are experiencing. Experience yourself as the field around you, the space around you. Everything exists in duality, light with darkness, hot with cold, summer with winter, and the physical with the non-physical. Your physical body is one aspect of you. It is only one small aspect of you, for you are more non-physical than you are physical. You exist as a formless state of consciousness, existing as everything, the container that holds everything. The body exists within this container. You are focused into the body like a light shining into a focal point. You shine your light that is encompassing everything, is connected to everything, is creating everything. You shine that light into one focal point that is your body, and you experience yourself here in this time-bound reality. With limited capacity. But you yourself, you are limitless. You are not confined by the boundaries of space and time. You are not confined by any narratives or stories. The stories and the narratives that confine you, that hold you, are simply those that you tell yourself. And they are stories of who you say you are in this physical world, keeping you more here, keeping your focal point here. You do not perceive the non-physical, but you do not perceive the non-physical because you do not pay attention upon it. You do not place your attention to the non-physical. For many of you are not aware that you are the non-physical also. But when you begin to realize more and more that you are this non-physical aspect, you begin to feel freedom within yourself. You begin to experience yourself differently. Or have you ever thought about what emotion actually is? We will give you an example. This channel thought about what emotion actually is, never really truly understanding how one experiences emotion. For the biology explains that chemicals are released in the brain that cause and create certain reactions, and then you experience the emotion. But that doesn't fully explain anything. That doesn't explain why you feel it in certain parts of your body. That doesn't explain why there's different intensities of emotion and different types of emotion, even though there are not that many types of chemicals that are released. What is the combination that makes the emotion of envy, or the emotion of jealousy, or greed, or love, or joy, or disappointment? What is the emotion? What is emotion itself? Why do we feel it in certain areas more than others, in certain times in our lives more than others? It didn't make sense to her that it could all be explained with the release of simple chemicals in the brain. And then she found out along her path, and she experienced more what emotions were. That emotions are a state, a field of energy. They are vibration. They're not simply chemicals that are released in the brain. They are experiences that you have. They're a part of you. They are created within you. And they're parts, and they are felt in different parts of yourself. So for instance, anger is felt more strongly just above the navel, near the stomach area. Love is felt more strongly in the heart, an open, embracing feeling. Certain emotions are felt differently in different parts and areas of the physical body. They are related to different chakras of the physical body and the emotional body. And so, emotions are not simply chemicals, they are experiences. They're a field of energy. They can be created, they can be transmuted. Once you become skillful, you can transmute the emotion of anger into love with understanding. You can transmute any emotion. And so the journey of self-discovery lets you find out for yourself through experience what life is, what you are, and lets you understand that you are more than simply that is visible to your eyes. You are more than simply that is visible to this world. For those of you who are beginning on a spiritual journey, on a spiritual path, and wanting to understand yourselves more, wanting to connect to your own divine selves more, understand that this reality is not everything that you see. On this journey, you will discover more of what this reality is and what you are. When you desire to connect to your divine self, and you desire to know God or Source, it is not about working hard, but rather having a pure desire, having love in your heart, wanting to know more, being open to learning and having a willingness to learn that gives you progress, that determines your progress. For if you proceed on a path without a clear direction and a desire, a strong desire, and somewhere along the way the desire dwindles, you may not get very far, for the desire is like fuel, like the fuel you put in your vehicle. When you drive a vehicle, you must first fill it up with gasoline. Then you must have a direction in mind, a destination. You must know this is point A and I want to get to point B. And so the desire is the fuel. You knowing what you want, that you want to know yourself, you want to know and understand God, you want to know and understand Source. That is your direction. And then you start your car and you progress upon your path. And when you approach the spiritual path in this way, with an open desire to know and learn, your path is easy and effortless, fueled by the pure desire to learn and grow, without anything else interfering in the process. The path becomes clear and easy. Without struggle, the universe lines up to help you on your journey. And on this journey, as you learn more and more that you yourself, you are God, you are the Source, you attain more power, and with it more responsibility to direct your mind and create with your mind in a more responsible way, to direct your emotions and create with the emotions in a more responsible way, meaning you turn off the autopilot and you come into your emotions and your mind more fully. You become aware of your mind and your emotions more fully, and you create your life rather than it being created by default. You begin to live consciously rather than subconsciously, rather than being driven by your subconscious and unconscious thoughts and desires and emotions. You begin to create with the conscious mind rather than with your conditioning. And this allows you to create a future that you desire with more ease, with less effort, and in a shorter duration of time. So the spiritual journey, you see, is about becoming more human, not less human. It is about bringing yourself more here, about understanding yourself so that you can create more here, rather than escaping into the non-physical. You will understand the non-physical, sure, but you will create using your non-physical self, using your non-physical knowledge in the physical reality with more effectiveness and ease. You hold within yourself the power to do anything that you desire. Whether it be creating something new, achieving a certain goal, even reaching a state of enlightenment, everything is within your reach. For you are truly the creator of your life. And so when you begin on your spiritual path, know your desire. Fuel that car with the right desire. Know your destination. And then set upon this journey of self-discovery. And you do not project upon the idea into yourself that this will be a long journey, a hard journey, a time-consuming journey. Leave all those ideas behind. For truly, you are discovering yourself. The journey is to yourself. The self is the closest thing to you. So how can your journey be long and stressful? How can your journey be tough and hard? You are already there. Everything is already within you. You simply have to realize it. That is the journey of self-realization. And so create with your heart. Each day and every day, knowing that you are creating with the divine self. And as you set upon this journey of self-discovery, know that you are supported. And know that this is the most natural journey, the most natural progression of things that will ever be. This is the easiest journey if you allow it to be. And the hardest if your mind creates it that way. for you are the creator of everything. And so we tell you this to help you understand that you can create whatever you desire, even your own self-realization and awakening, not with force, but with a true desire to know, with a true surrender into the process of discovering. It is like when an artist is so engrossed in the creation that it is creating that they forget they are making a work of art. They are simply creating and enjoying themselves. Just do that. Be immersed in the process of discovering the reality that is. And who you are. And as you immerse yourself and you surrender to this process more and more, you will discover that it is effortless. More experiences will come into you. While you are in waking life, while you are in dreaming life, while you are in meditation also, that teach you and help you to learn about who you are. Much of this is true for this channel. Much of this is her experience. For she learns who she is by communicating with her higher self, her divine self, not just during her sitting meditation periods, but also by being in awareness throughout the day, and also by being in dream states where the communication happens, and by going into non-physical realities where there is also communication happening. There is so much for you to discover. So create your journey of self-discovery. And fuel it with the desire to know and to grow, to learn and to understand who you are and this experience that you are living. Lastly, we would like to comment upon the energy, the movement of energy that occurs when one is connected to their divine self. You will notice that the channel moves back and forth, sometimes swaying side to side or in circles. That is simply because the energy is moving her. When the energy moves through the certain channels of the body and the energy body, it creates movement in the physical body. She is not doing this with her will, her personal will, but rather the energy of the connection between the physical and the non-physical, between herself and the physical dimension and the non-physical dimension, is creating this movement. Some of you may notice a similar movement happening with you. If you are, please let it be as it is. You do not need to worry. You do not need to place your attention on it. Simply let it be. It is just a natural progression of things. You don't need to fear it. It is a joy for us to bring through messages to this channel, and we will continue to do so should the channel want to continue to engage in the channeling process. Her learning will evolve. The practice of channeling will evolve over time. And you, as the audience, will witness and view this as a change occurs. We hope the knowledge in this video helps you to understand more the spiritual path and the spiritual journey. We wish you the very best on your own journey of self-discovery. Many blessings, much love to all, and Namaste.